the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking.
Hello everyone, this is China Chicken, and I want to do a review of Squid Game Season 2, which I just watched. I binged it yesterday on Netflix, watched the whole thing. So let's go through some of the top spoilers of the show and the top storylines that I really liked in it. So first thing is Yi-hun, the main character. He spent 2 years searching for the salesman from Season 1. And it's this guy here where he played that game where they flipped the envelope cards. I forget what it was called, Daikchu or something like that. They played it later in the show too. But I thought it was interesting that he spent 2 years after Season 1 where he already made all that money winning Squid Game Season 1. And he tried to find this guy to find out how to stop them and how to stop the game. So I thought that was interesting. Another thing interesting that happened was when he finally did find the salesman, they played Russian roulette against each other, and the salesman ended up dying. They were doing 1 bullet in the chamber, and then they ended up doing 5 in the chamber, and the salesman killed himself in Russian roulette. So that was interesting. And then they didn't know how to find the Squid Game guys anymore after that. So next thing that happened was a girl that they introduced who was the bunny in the suit that was trying to help the kid with cancer there. She ends up signing up for Squid Game to be one of the pink guards. Everyone thought that she was going to be a contestant on the show, but no, she was actually one of the pink guards that shoots the contestants after they get eliminated. So that was interesting. They didn't really finish her storyline too much in Season 2. She had a couple rough scenes there, but it should be interesting to see how her story develops in Season 3 as one of the pink guards there, and if she'll end up revolting against the Squid Game guys. So next is Gi-hun returns to the island so that his men can find the island. So he put an implant GPS tooth in his mouth, and he thought he was being tracked the whole time, and then realized that when they knocked him out, they ended up taking out the tooth, or taking out the GPS that was in the tooth. So the guys that were going to follow him and save him were no longer able to do that because he doesn't have the tracker anymore. So sucks for him. Next thing was that surprised me was I knew the whole time during this episode when it was called Player 001. I was like, oh, the guy from Season 1, the old guy that created Squid Game, he was 001. So I knew this is 001 had to be someone very important. The whole time I was like, who's going to be 001? And at the end of the episode, they revealed that it's the new director, the front man, I guess they call him, and he participates as 001. I don't think he was in, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he was in the red light, green light at the first games that they did in this season. So he came in afterwards to vote. That's when they introduced him. So I thought that was really interesting, and you just knew the whole time that he was going to turn on them at some point, and he did at the end. But he didn't reveal himself to them, which I thought was interesting. And then again, like I said, red light, green light was the only game that was the same from Season 1. So the main character, he knew that green light when they went out there was what they were going to play, and that they were all going to die. Everyone else thought he was crazy for saying that. And then after that, he was like, oh, I guess all the other games are the same. But no, they were completely different after the first game, which was kind of cool. I like to see that. But and then the guys that were supposed to rescue him, the captain of the ship, because they were going island to try and find them, he ends up working for the Squid Games the whole time. So that was kind of shocking moment there. I wasn't a huge fan of the storyline. Hopefully they come up more in the 3rd season. But looking for the main character the whole time after he made the games, it was kind of a boring storyline. But we'll see what happens in the next season with that. Another crazy thing was, we haven't talked about this character yet, but the character, he calls himself Thanos. He's got the purple hair, and I don't know, he's got tattoos of the Infinity Stones on his knuckles, so that's kind of interesting. But there's a big fight that breaks out, and him and his buddy are always on acid. They're always taking these acid pills in the middle of the games and going crazy. They're pretty interesting characters, but this guy, I knew at some point he was going to die. He ends up dying. He gets stabbed with a fork a bunch of times and bleeds out in the throat, but he started a big fight between the voters that wanted to stop the games and the voters that wanted to continue. He kept wanting to continue the games. So that was kind of interesting that he died at the end there in Season 2. So moving on, we got Gi-hun leads a rebellion against the guards after the 3rd game. So right basically after the fight breaks out, he knew that the guards were going to be coming in. So they set up a plan to take out the guards and take some of the guns. And they were able to do that, and they were fighting back and rebelled against the guards, and there was a lot of guards that they ended up killing, but they were trying to take down the whole Squid Game and didn't end up working out. And like I said, the front man, he ends up killing Gi-hun's best friend, the ex-marine, the whole time. He was a good character, but you just knew the whole time he was going to go at some point. But number 1001 pretended like he died, ended up becoming a traitor and turned on the main character. And the main character doesn't know that he thought he actually died, so he didn't reveal himself. I thought that's what was going to happen at the end of the season. He was going to take off his mask right after killing his friend and saying, "Hey, I'm Young." I believe his name was Young Il. I'm Young Il, and I'm the guy that is running this now. So that didn't end up happening, but we'll see. I'm sure that's going to happen in the third season at some point. Anyways, I enjoyed season 2 a lot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.
Chicken to China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking.